Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike and I share insights about life, retirement, and doing business in the Philippines. Today I'm taking a look at an important topic, tips for foreigners who want to start a business in the Philippines. Now, if you're thinking about making the Philippines your new home and you want to build a business here, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to break it all down, the realities, the opportunities, and the challenges so that you can avoid costly mistakes. Let's get right into it. So you might be interested in retiring to the Philippines and starting a business. But if you're also interested in dating beautiful Filipinas with strong Christian values, check out ChristianFilipina.com. I'll put a link in the description below. Christian Filipina does an excellent job in filtering out those dating scammers that we all hear about. So let's talk about good Filipinas. They make some of the best wives in the world, and Christian Filipina is a great place to start looking. So don't delay. Click the link. Before we even talk about business opportunities, you need to understand how business ownership works in the Philippines. As a foreigner, you cannot just walk in and own 100% of any business that you want. There are restrictions under the Philippine Constitution and the Foreign Investment Act. For example, foreigners are limited in certain industries like retail, media, and land ownership. In most cases, foreigners can own up to 40% of a corporation, while the remaining 60% must be owned by Filipino citizens. But here's some good news. There are exceptions in sectors like business process outsourcing, BPOs, export businesses, or companies located inside special economic zones. You can own up to 100%. So your very first step is researching what industries are open to foreign ownership. This is where I think it's money well spent to consult with an attorney that specializes in setting up businesses and one that helps foreigners. I even go as far as checking out some of the reviews of the attorneys themselves. A lot of foreigners come here with big dreams, but you have to be realistic. The most successful businesses for foreigners in the Philippines usually fall into a few categories: tourism and hospitality, resorts, boutique hotels, dive shops and restaurants, IT and online services, outsourcing companies, call centers, software development, export businesses, products made in the Philippines that are sold overseas, education and training, English language schools, vocational training centers. So if you're thinking about opening a small retail shop, a sari-sari store, or a street food stall, forget it. That market is already saturated, highly price sensitive, and in many cases closed to foreign ownership. Stick with something that plays to your strengths, where you can add real value. But let's say that you do decide to do some sort of a retail business where patrons are paying cash. You're probably going to have employees accepting that cash, and you're not always going to be at the premises to witness every single transaction. I think that you know where I'm going with this. Can you trust every employee that you've ever hired, past or present, to do the right thing? Some cash transactions could happen without your knowledge because that money would go straight into the pockets of unscrupulous and dishonest employees. The way to fix this is to have a CCTV. If you're not familiar with what CCTV is, it's a video surveillance system that uses cameras to transmit signals to specific sets of monitors rather than broadcasting publicly. CCTV is mainly used for security monitoring and evidence recording in places like homes, businesses, streets, banks, airports, and government facilities. Business owners don't just use them to prevent shoplifting or to keep criminals from holding up the establishment. They also have them to keep their employees trustworthy because you can check the video of every customer that ever did business with you that's on the video hard drive against what was recorded in your books. So let's say that your records show 29 sales that day, but the video hard drive shows 33 customers who came in and bought something that day. At this point, you'd know something is wrong. The CCTV system acts as a deterrent because a dishonest employee would think twice about ever doing something like this in the first place. Because of the 60-40 ownership rule, most foreigners need a Filipino partner, and this is where many people go wrong. If you just put your girlfriend's or wife's name on the business and hope for the best, you're asking for trouble. Your partner should be someone who you trust legally, financially, and professionally. It's not enough that you get along personally. You need to make sure this person has the skills and credibility to manage the business if necessary. Also, don't rely on handshake agreements. Get everything in writing and, like I mentioned earlier, consult with a good lawyer before you invest a single peso. Now let's talk about the paperwork. To legally start a business here, you'll need to go through several steps. Register with the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. If you're forming a corporation, register with the DTI, Department of Trade and Industry. If you're a sole proprietorship, get a barangay clearance and a mayor's permit from the local city hall. Register with the BIR, Bureau of Internal Revenue, for your tax identification. It sounds complicated, and honestly it is, but the process is manageable if you hire a good local accountant or business consultant. Taxes in the Philippines can be confusing for foreigners. Unlike in the US, where you typically file once a year, here you might need to file monthly, quarterly, and annual reports. You'll need a bookkeeper or an accountant from day one, so don't try to do this on your own. Penalties for missing deadlines can be steep, and the tax rules change often. Also, be prepared for value-added tax, VAT, if your business earns above a certain threshold. Knowing your obligations upfront will save you stress and money later. Then there are cultural considerations. Here's something you won't hear in most business guides. The culture matters. Business in the Philippines is often based on relationships and trust. Don't expect everything to move as fast as it does in the West. Meetings might start late. Deadlines may be flexible. Learning how to read between the lines and adapting to local communication styles will make your life a lot easier. Respect the culture, build personal relationships, and be patient. That's how you'll succeed here. Let me quickly run through the biggest mistakes foreigners make when starting a business here. Rushing in without research. Don't assume what works in your home country will work here. Trusting the wrong people. As I said earlier, this is the number one reason businesses fail. Not respecting the law. Some people try to bypass restrictions by putting everything under their Filipino partner's name. That's risky and can leave you with nothing. Underestimating costs. Things can be cheaper here, but inefficiencies and delays can add up. Always budget for unexpected expenses. Failing to adapt to local ways. You can't run a business here exactly the way that you would in the US or Europe. You need to adjust to how things work locally. Then there are some practical tips for success. Now let me share with you some no-nonsense ideas that can help you succeed. Start small and scale up once you understand the market. Hire locals. They know the culture, language, and customer behavior. Use your foreign advantage. Your international perspective, connections, or skills can give you a competitive edge. Network with other expats. Learn from their mistakes and successes. Stay compliant with permits, taxes, labor laws, and don't cut corners. Opportunities in 2025 and beyond. So what are the real opportunities right now? A few areas stand out. Ecotourism. With the global push for sustainability, eco-friendly resorts and travel services are in demand. Digital services. Filipinos are tech-savvy, and online services like remote work hubs, app development, and outsourcing are growing fast. Health and wellness. Gyms, spas, and health-focused cafes are seeing a boom, especially in cities. Retirement services. With more foreigners retiring in the Philippines, businesses that serve retirees like assisted living, medical services, and leisure activities are promising. If you can combine your passion with one of these opportunities, you'll have a much better shot at success. A few final thoughts. Starting a business in the Philippines as a foreigner isn't easy, but it's not impossible either. The key is preparation, patience, and partnering with the right people. If you take the time to learn the rules, respect the culture, and bring real value to the market, you can absolutely succeed here. But if you rush in, cut corners, ignore the laws, you'll likely end up losing both your money and your peace of mind. Starting and operating a business in the Philippines isn't for every foreigner, just like living here isn't for every retired foreigner. So there you have it, my best tips for foreigners who want to start a business here in the Philippines. This video only scratches the surface. It only gives you an overview. If you did find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell notification so that you don't miss future content. And if you have any questions, experiences of your own, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.